So shall I do a intro?
I think you probably should, yeah.
Welcome to the History Lord. You join myself and James behind the camera. We're sat here in my house in Warwickshire, and a slightly different one today. This is a Q&A. People have been asking questions. Well, James has got them to ask questions, and so yes, here I am at your mercy. James, roll the titles. So here we are, we're back. I have no idea what these questions are. So if I do stutter, please forgive me. James, hit me with your first question.
First question should be nice and easy.
Go on then.
What's your favourite period of history?
Oh, either Elizabethan, first Elizabethan, or Victorian. Both monarchs ruled through an immense amount of changes, but I probably favour the Victorian times over the Elizabethan. I think primarily because so much changed in the Victorian times from 1837 to 1901, and it's a strange juxtaposition as well. This is what fascinates me, is you have the immense wealth and the industrial end of the Industrial Revolution and more innovative technology coming through. At the start you had a horse and cart, and at the end of it you had motor cars. Railways took over not just the country but the world. But then you had the juxtaposition of lots of poverty and lots of philanthropists coming through and trying to relieve that poverty. And of course you had the empire as well, which it's strange. At the start of it, slavery had just been abolished, and at the end of it you had the biggest empire the world has ever seen. Again, it's a strange juxtaposition to have. And my favourite quote of the Victorian era is the reason the sun never set on the British Isle, on the British Empire, is because God never trusted the British in the dark. So it does say a lot about it. So yes, the Victorian era in a long-winded sort of way. Next.
On continuing the theme of favourites.
Yes.
Who would be your... There's many King Henrys.
There's 8 of them, yes.
8 King Henrys. Which would be your favourite?
Oh dear.
Most people think Henry VIII, don't they? But
yes,
there's 7 others.
Henry VIII is probably my least favourite, just because, the more I read about him, the more I detest him. Henry V, because his victory at Agincourt was the start of a new movement for Britain, or for England at the time. Possibly Henry VII, though, because Henry VII had a tenuous claim to the throne, but when he did become king, he stabilised the country and he actually made a profit for the country. There was no debt. He did raise taxes, but he actually left the country in quite a good state and more stable than it had been for sort of like 50 or 60 years. So probably Henry VII at a push, but none of the Henrys were very nice.
What's an obscure piece of London history that everyone should see?
There's 2 bits of obscure London history that we've covered on the History Lord. So one is the Wellington mounting step in Waterloo Place, where Wellington got on and off his horse outside the Athenaeum Club and the Army and Navy Club, which is now the Institute of Directors building. Not far from that is the grave of Giro, the dog of the German ambassador, Leopold von Hirsch. So we've covered those. I say people should always see them because they're just fascinating. But something we haven't covered. Near St James's Palace, if you go up St James's towards Piccadilly, on your left-hand side is a little street that's called Blue Ball Yard. Is it Blue Ball? Yes, Blue Ball Yard. And if you go in there, there's now a rather exclusive restaurant and bar, and I think the stable, it's an old stables in the centre of London, and it's still there from the 16th, 17th century, and it's now accommodation, but it's not a hotel accommodation, private rooms, etc. So yes, go into Blue Ball Yard and have a look at one of the oldest surviving stables in London. There you go. That's obscure enough.
How did you get into history?
Oh, a little confession. I hated history at school. Couldn't stand it. And it was only after I left school and I was working in theatre. One of the chaps there in the same theatre company as me was reminiscing about an old theatre in the town where I was born. And he said, oh, it went years ago. And I couldn't understand. I said, no, it's still there. You know, and he said, no, this theatre was bombed during the war. And he said, I'd love to find a photograph of it. And I said, I bet I can. You know, 16 years old and cocky. I said, I bet I can find a photo of it. And it took me about 2 or 3 weeks going to the local history rooms in the library. And while I was looking for the photograph of this particular old theatre, the Ilford Hippodrome, funny enough, I discovered lots of other interesting bits about my town where I grew up. And that was it. I was hooked from then on. And history, that was nearly 40 years ago. Nearly 40 years ago. I'm not telling you exactly how old I am, but yeah. So that's how I got into history. Not through school, but through an old theatre company.
Who would be some of your go-to historians, people who talk about history? Who do you... People come to you. Who do you go to?
It's a good question. At the moment, it's Dan Snow. I'm loving his book. In fact, my book at the moment is that one, The Hollow Crown. He has written other books. There are other historians available. But yeah, Hollow Crown, I'm just brushing up on my War of the Roses at the moment, because a period that I'm not that familiar with. So there you go. So Dan Snow. Excellent reads.
And that links into a question I did have for you. You've kind of answered it. A period of history that you wish you knew more about.
Funny enough, it is the War of the Roses. I used to live in North London, in Highgate, and that was about 6 miles south of Barnet. And I used to go to Barnet once or twice a month to potter around the shops there. And they had all the banners up in 2021 for the anniversary of the Battle of Barnet. And I vaguely heard of it, vaguely knew a little bit about it, but that I thought, I don't know enough about War of the Roses. And I put it on the back burner at the time, but now I have a bit more free time. I thought I'd bone up on War of the Roses. I think I also need to do a bit more to refresh my memory of the English Civil War as well. I know bits about it, but where I live in Warwickshire, it's not far from Edge Hill and Tewkesbury. So I do need to bone up on those battlefields as well.
Why did you move from London?
2 reasons. One is I'm now married and my husband wanted to move here. It's in the centre of the country. It's easier to get to. We have family down in the southwest and up north as well, so it's easier to be equidistant between them as well. And practical note, money. You get more for your dollar here, don't you? More for your pound. So that's another reason why I moved. And I think after 50 something odd years of living in London, it didn't lose its shine for me, but I just thought a quieter life was needed. So that's why we probably moved to Warwickshire.
What's the best thing about moving to Warwickshire?
Freedom. A certain amount of freedom, because I'm not in the rat race anymore. So partially retiring is a good thing about moving here. I think it's learning about new areas. So where I am here, I'm just up the road from Warwick itself, and you've got Warwick Castle, I'm not far from Kenilworth, and you've got Kenilworth Castle. Stratford upon Avon is just down the road where Shakespeare was born and all of that. So it's another county. Yeah, and it's, as I say, slap bang in the middle of the country. It's easy to get to quite a few places within just an hour or an hour and a half. So that's the best thing about moving to Warwickshire. It's location. Location, location, location. They should do a programme called that.
Yeah, maybe they should.
They should.
I don't know why I never thought of that.
Any more?
That is all for
Oh,
now.
there you go. It
But
wasn't.
if anyone has any more, they can leave them in the comments.
Yes, leave them in the comments, and we'll do another video of this, after 4 years or so.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you've not mentioned the Lego yet. But
Well,
see
the Lego is particularly good, isn't it?
See that?
We'll get a close-up of that.
Yeah, get a close up of that, because look, that's for my birthday this year, and my hubby got our logo put on it, or the Lord logo. So there you go. Yes, I don't do too much Lego, but when I do, it's quality. Is that it?
That's it.
Do you want me to do an outro?
Yeah, go on.
There you go. Thanks for watching. See you soon.
Lovely.
No, we do it properly. Thanks for watching. We do hope you enjoy these videos, and this was something a bit different today from us. So if you do like watching videos like this, please subscribe. And if you want to see what we do outside, then go to historylord.co.uk and see what I used to do, and have a look at James's channel, which is called Last Line Films. That's on YouTube and TikTok, and that's also his website. Thanks for your questions. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you soon.